So, my first Patreon goal got smashed thanks to my parents. If you ever want to know why I will never make those "I'm a YouTuber, therefore my parents aren't proud of me" jokes, there's the example. So, I have been on YouTube for an excess of 10 years. Wow, that is weird because I have also stayed very low on subscribers for an excess of 10 years. That's kind of the thing at this point. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, I'm trying to get this microphone to cooperate. I do a lot of audio editing to get the audio to sound right, and it's because I'm still working out how to use a lav mic, because I'm still a film idiot. Went to 4 years of film school and I'm still a film idiot. The thing is, I have wanted to do several different things with YouTube. I started off as a Let's Play channel, because I watched a lot of PewDiePie. I watched a lot of those early creators. I didn't get into Markiplier for a shockingly long time, actually, but I'd say that when I was sort of ending off the Let's Play section of my YouTube life, that's sort of where I was going toward. There we go. Then I wanted to do reviews of games, movies, whatever. Pretty much only ever did games. Games, top 10s, top 5s. I did a top 10 for a class once. That was really fun. I didn't, record 2 of the numbers because I was running out of time. And it was my first semester in college, so I had no idea what to do. So I just sort of winged it. I did a lot of that stuff. And you know what? I still look back on some of those things with some whimsy. Then there was the brief amount of time where I really wanted to be the nostalgia critic. Okay, so for the record, in my defense, I got into Doug Walker and Channel Awesome as a whole really late in the game, and I got really into it. I even managed to stick out the first Change the Channel controversy, because that one made it seem like, at that time he was just kind of an idiot, and I thought, maybe he's grown. Made it very clear he hadn't over time, and I sort of fell off of that love for him as time went on. But when I first came in, I wanted to be that kind of angry, character-based reviewer where I take a version of myself, I put it out in the world, and I make a sort of mythos around it. That's where, the Mr. Nim outfit came from that I wore very briefly, including in Return of the Nim, which is one of my most watched videos, and it's hilarious that it is because it resulted in absolutely fuck all. That's where that whole thing came from. I wanted to sort of denote a difference between myself and the self that I put out on YouTube, and I eventually thought better of that. I eventually thought, this is something I want to do, authentically as myself. I didn't think better of that, though, until I started watching the creator H Bomber Guy. He definitely brought me into a new phase of myself, along with the several other creators in that sort of sphere, which you may know as BreadTube. I prefer to call it those people who make video essays that aren't all political, but sometimes they are, and they really improved my politics. It's less catchy, but I've never seen one of them bake bread. The point I'm trying to make is I've had an evolution of content, but there was one stage that was kind of teetering there, and it's the stage where I didn't make any videos for several years while I was in college. And Well, I say I didn't make any videos. That's not strictly true. There were at least 2 videos that I had planned, and 1 video that I actually made. I am friends with a creator known by many names on YouTube, Bill Black. Oh no, he's here. He's one of my good friends. Throughout college, you know, we didn't hang out as much as other people, but we were always close. And we were always pitching ideas back and forth to make things that we would have fun with. And one of the things that I managed to get in on was a top 10 worst horror movies on Netflix. And I did it by telling Bill about the worst horror movie I'd seen. In that top 10 video, I very swiftly reviewed a terrible, but I would argue, like, gut-bustingly hilarious movie called Ouija 2, The Ouija Resurrection, or Ouija 2, The Theater of Death, depending on who published it. It was on Netflix at the time. I don't know whether it still is. Hold on, let me check. Oh. Yes, The Ouija Experiment 2! That's what it was! The Ouija Experiment 2! Theater of Death. 1.8 out of 10 on IMDb! Can you stream it on Amazon now? Can you stream this shit on Amazon now? Because if so... Oh no, it's a DVD. A DVD for $7.92. What a steal. Oh, you can watch it on Tubi. And Voodoo. I mean, I genuinely think you should, because it's a fun fucking experience to sit down with a friend and fuck around with it, but I don't know whether it's worth the ads from Tubi. Like, there's stuff on Tubi that's worth the ads from Tubi. Not that. Or downloading Voodoo. So if you already got Voodoo downloaded, who are you? Back on topic. So yes, during that time, that's sort of the one thing that we did. The one thing that I made myself, I edited it, I put my all into it. It was 5 minutes long. It was pretty funny, I thought, at the time, and I sent it out into the world. Specifically, I sent it to Will, and Will took the 5 minutes that I edited myself and further edited it down to make it more amenable to being in a longer video, and I've never had a problem with that. I think that that's perfectly reasonable. I think that that's a great way to do it. I did, however, want to sort of release the uncut version at some point. And I have done that by the time. In fact, I already did that before I I recorded this. You want to see the original uncut version, completely and utterly unabridged for your viewing pleasure? It's on my Patreon. This video is in part an advertisement for my Patreon. You don't have to join. I appreciate every view I get on these videos. It is, however, a sort of motivator for me to continue making these videos. I feel more excited when I know that there are more people that invested in seeing the end product and seeing the behind the scenes and knowing all of the things that go on throughout the entire process. It drives me. So Patreon link is in the description. And it's if I can put it in a card, it's in a card that's coming right over my forehead right now, probably. Probably not, because it's probably not that long. Although I do have a big head. The point is, please go check it out. I would love for you to see it before what's about to come next. See, this video I thought would be really fun to sort of reminisce about, but I can't reminisce without the person who helped make it happen. So, Everyone, please feel free to welcome Bill Black. Hey guys, 2 quick warnings. Just some weird audio coming up. Fucking Discord. And more importantly, there's a content warning. Just some gory stuff. When Will says, "Oh, that's epic," you should be good. For the record, I did actually... You can call me Bill Black, you can call me Will Schwartz, you can call me Oh No He's Here, you can call me Don't Call Me Late for Dinner, because you never invited me. So why would you rub that in my face? Today we're watching Mark's video from 2018. Yeah. Do they know the full context that this was like an uncut? Yeah, I believe I did explain that. And okay. This is subscribe to Patreon to see the fucking actual full version of this and not just us roasting it. Mark has brought me in to be really mean to him about something that we made together 4 years ago. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, right? I gotta be on my way out soon, Mark. Not out of the recording session, but like, I mean, that's 4 years. We gotta be closer. Will? Screw you for this. Alright, let's pause it right there. Mark, fuck you for this. Keep playing.
I'm here to talk about something that really pissed me off. That's right, this movie didn't just kind of anger me or kind of bore me. This movie straight up pissed me off more than anything I've seen this year.
Mark, I want to say before you say anything, I like to think that in this recording session, you don't actually know that there's a camera in front of you and you've entered a fugue state and you're just talking to no one and nothing. But you're convinced that someone's there. Can we talk about, so I'd like to just bring up first, you have better glasses now, but less hair.
Oh, come on, Nim. How can something so stupid and irrelevant make you so mad? Yeah. Because this isn't just a movie.
It's a war crime.
No. This is the cinematic equivalent of being beaten to death.
This really shows that you grew up on those hour-long video essays about the Star Wars prequels.
So I just want to actually say something about that particularly because I didn't grow up on those. I got into those around 2016, which makes this arguably more egregious. I actually never watched the Plinkett reviews. I stayed away from those. They annoyed me.
Because you're really embodying Plinkett right now.
I was actually going for the nostalgia critic in this.
So imagine if Plinkett and nostalgia critic just made love, made tender sweet love, and out came this video.
I say here that it's the cinematic equivalent of being beaten to death. I think that the next time I watched it, I learned that I kind of like being beaten to death.
Masochism.
The next time I watched it, I found myself actually kind of laughing and really enjoying this movie.
I think your biggest pitfall as a critic when you made these old videos was that I think you very much wanted to be miserable when watching these so bad they're good movies. Even if they weren't so bad they're good, you went in ready to hate it and be furious, even if it wasn't authentic anger.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's why I kind of totally shifted towards...
It's almost why you should delete your channel.
It's why I totally shifted back towards, like, sort of analysis and more in-depth critique.
Well, I think there was also a time when YouTube video essays were just... I mean, like, even now, it's like you can only really make a video essay that is successful to the algorithm if it's fueled by a reciprocated hate between you and the audience. Like, video essayists now don't feel like they can talk about things that they like and get away with, like, having sustainable watch time. So, but 2016 to, like, 2018 was definitely, like, a peak of that, where, like, all video essayists were popping off, and they were all talking about how they hated animated movies made for children or shitty $2 horror movies.
And Will made me watch it.
I didn't.
Thanks a lot.
Now, this is what we call movie magic, where Mark lies to your fucking face and discredits me as a human being.
I'll eat your kids, Mark.
While watching this movie, I had to think hard about what the movie
Oh, COVID.
actually was. It was either an attempt at a parody of horror movies, or an attempt at a serious horror movie. Ouija Experiment 2, The Ouija Resurrection, is an attempt to use the shittiness of its originator, the Ouija Experiment, to make a funnier version of the movie with the same themes. You know, like Birdemic 2.
Now, I will say that that's been done successfully before, sometimes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is just a comedy that has none of the original elements of the first one. I'm now paying attention to your video and seeing that the font for Birdemic 2 is the same one used on the cover of the Fiasco tabletop booklet.
Holy shit, it is!
I'm pretty sure that means it's also the same font used in Anatomy of a Murder.
For people who don't know what he's talking about, I'm gonna big myself up on.
Oh, you got 2 books? You got book 1 and book 2?
Yeah.
Hold on,
Fiasco
Mark.
and the Fiasco Companion.
You know what I have within arm's reach?
The Fiasco.
I have Fiasco.
Now, considering the budget of this movie and the time they took to shoot it,
I'm so mad about this to this day.
What?
That's wrong. That's a wrong statistic.
What's the correct statistic? Did you fucking lie to me?
Days, not 15 weeks. I typed it, just trying to get it done. My brain was on autopilot,
Yeah.
and I never corrected it.
And you know what? I thought it was I thought that you were saying that it took 15 weeks, and I was like, that's fucking absurd.
My brain
Now, granted, there have been the ability to make a 2-week feature is real. People do that all the time. Like Whiplash was done in 14 days.
Wow, that's
But it wasn't done for $875.
right.
Did they feed anybody? Did they do that at all? How would?
Well, if they were,
What did they eat? Did they eat the other cast members?
I mean, that's what it depicts. So
Yum yum.
the movie is about a ghost in a theater where they just showed off the first movie in an event called
And I cut the.
Ouija Weekend. No, seriously. No, really.
I think the biggest pitfall of the humor here is that, like, the thing is stupid on its own, and spending a lot of time to bring extra attention to how stupid it is diminishes the effect of the bullshit going on in the film. Because hearing your 5 seconds of then kind of makes you anticipate it, and then when you hear it, you're like, well, that's pretty bad, but I mean, like, it's not that bad. If it had just been Ouija Weekend, you're like, oh, wow, that's just not even anything, is it?
and you know where that comes from? You know where that straight up comes from?
Nostalgia critic.
Yep.
Yep. It's almost as if he's not good at what he does, and who's surprised?
And you know what? I'll even give Doug some slack there.
I won't, but go ahead.
Because
Doug Bowser, if you're listening.
If he was to do the same joke, it would have focused on his face when he did the huge, like, breathe in, breathe out. It would have cut to his face.
Yeah.
Him with
But also
his hands.
but also
and
his
then
face sucks.
saying it.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
He looks like a wind-up toy brand based off of, like, if they had wind-up toys that were, like, just designed after, like, serial killers, innocuous serial killers, and you just, like, wound it up, and he was like, I'm gonna leave your daughter in the basement. Like, that's what Nostalgia Critic reminds me of.
Writer guy, I think. I don't know what he actually is. I didn't really pay that much attention.
The fucking end just got fucking decapitated.
That was really good editing, Mark. I really like the part where you were in the middle of your sentence and then you...
Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? Like, I also.
And here's the point I'm making, and it's really...
And very obvious final girl, along with gay best friend and randomly psychic girl, are chased through a locked theater by the most inconsistent ghost ever to exist! The ghost can sometimes be seen by the naked eye, but sometimes you need a pair of camera glasses. Sometimes it kills people by straight up murdering them,
epic.
and sometimes it sucks them into a weird ghost dimension. And, most importantly, a ghost that is already fucking dead can be killed by being actually stabbed to death. Putting aside for a second the fact that These are all in different scenes. Putting aside
Wow,
the
she
crappy
caught that
quality
knife.
You can see. Putting aside
That's
the
hold
weird
on, pause that,
appearance of
because
shit like a God's not dead.
I remember cutting this part of the video because I
Yeah.
felt like you had already made your most effective point, and then you just kind of like kept going. But I forgot. Just think about this. Just paint this little picture for yourself real quick. You're fighting this demon in a basement, and it's this incestuous witch lady. Anything that anyone can relate to, and you've got the jump on her, and you're ready to just stab her in the tummy. So you decide, I'm going to take my only defensive mechanism, this big long kitchen knife, and I'm going to then do a cool, sick trick shot with it that could only possibly hurt me. And it's not actually going to look that cool because we're going to do it in one take, and we're going to use the first shot, and then I'm going to stab her in the tummy. That's crazy that they thought that would be remotely cool.
Do you want to hear something really funny about how you just said, this is the most salient point in the video, right? That this is supposed to be a ghost and it's super inconsistent. Upon rewatch, she's not a ghost.
Yeah, I remember that. And you know what? I just didn't. I remember, like, she's not a ghost. She's just like an incest lady.
So, yeah, no,
right?
She's just a person.
She's just one of those. She's just a person who's like.
Person who is apparently triggered by Ouija boards. And
yeah, but she's also. Yeah.
I don't mean in the sense that it is like a psychological trigger for her. I mean, she literally like.
Wait, Mark, did you watch this movie again?
Not recently, but like soon after, and I remember this most of all. Like,
what? Why?
Because I have a friend with
Mark, you deserve better.
You know what the worst part is? The entire thrust of the plot. The entire reason for everything.
Thrust.
Is that, get this, incest makes the ghost girl crave human flesh, so her dad uncle, the sheriff, kills people to feed her the human flesh that she craves. Except sometimes people get sucked into a ghost world. I mean, sucked off in a ghost world. I mean, sucked into a ghost world. Maybe they also get sucked off in a ghost world. I don't know. This movie has no consistency. This is possibly the worst movie I've ever...
Yeah, so you had a good thing going there. And I remember I used all of that until you made it made the sound of like one of the chipmunks in Alvin of the Chipmunks entering just a garbage disposal. I was gonna say a garbage disposal, but you know what? If you want to make a Thanos asshole joke from 2018, then you go right ahead, Mark.
Say this movie pisses me off. You know what? That's an understatement. That's now an understatement. Within the past few minutes, I've talked about it.
That little breath you did, I've like a little.
What?
I've never seen you actually breathe like that, but you know who I have seen breathe exactly like that?
Doug Walker.
Doug Walker. Mark, it shows that you watched him down to his breathing. Granted, this is me with Steven Suptic from this time period. I was just Steven Suptic.
I mean, to be fair, probably a better aspiration.
I won't refute that. All right, we got 15 seconds left. We gotta wrap this baby up.
No, I can feel this movie violating me as we speak. I'm not gonna stand for it.
I forgot this ended in a crossover that never happened.
Yeah, no.
You made me watch the fucking Silent Hill sequel for no reason. You stabbed me in the back and you stabbed me in the heart. You made me sit through that piece of shit, and then you never edited the video.
No, it's because during that time, I had the thing open, and a couple days later, my PC it would do this thing where it would just randomly shut off. And we had all the audio from us sort of reviewing it as we were watching it, from us riffing it. We had all of it, and I had it in Audition. My computer shut off, just powered down for no reason. No button was touched, and it was like sudden. It was like, like the power plug got pulled out, but it didn't. And when I loaded Audition back up, The time that we spent there was great, but it was a flat line. It was a flat line of nothing.
That's awesome, Mark. Let's watch the segment from the finished video. I have this recurring nightmare. Oh, holy goddamn shit. That was just my voice. Wow.
Yeah.
Visceral. And finally, before I talk about my final pick, here's Mr. Nim to talk about objectively the worst movie on Netflix.
What's up, people? It's Mr. Nim. I review things on my own channel, blah, blah, blah. I'm not here to talk about that. This is the cinematic equivalent of being beaten to death.
The Ouija Experiment 2, The Ouija Resurrection, or Theater of Death if you're so inclined, is about a ghost in a theater where they just showed off the first movie in an event called Ouija Weekend. The cast, writer, and very obvious final girl, along with gay best friend and randomly psychic girl, are chased through a locked theater by the most inconsistent ghost ever to exist! The ghost can sometimes be seen by the naked eye, but sometimes you need a pair of camera glasses. Sometimes it kills people by straight up murdering them, and sometimes it sucks them into a weird ghost dimension. Most importantly, a ghost that is already fucking dead can be killed by being actually stabbed to death. Now, considering the budget of this movie and the time they took to shoot it, I would have given it a lot more slack, but there's this thing called writing and this other one called plot structure that it feels like no one who made this movie knew how to do. Putting aside the weird appearance of shit like a God's Not Dead poster, putting aside the random ass bits of self-referential humor like,
Do you have to be the black girl to die first in the movie?
you know what the worst part is? The entire reason for everything is that incest makes the ghost girl crave human flesh, so her dad uncle, the sheriff, kills people to feed her the human flesh that she craves. Except sometimes people get sucked into a ghost world. I mean, sucked off in a ghost world. I mean, sucked into a ghost world. Maybe they also get sucked off in a ghost world.
I can feel this movie violating me as we speak. I'm not gonna stand for it.
And then you come into my room and you kill me with a gun.
I will say, despite all of the stuff we've said about it, doing this was actually quite fun. Like,
Yeah, no, I had a good time.
I think that even though it, like, does not look as good today, at the time it was...
Nothing I made in 2018 looks as good as what I'm making today.
Exactly. But I think at the time it was...
I'm amazed that I had, like, control over all of my my fingers and thumbs to, like, edit together things. I was baby.
Where can people find you?
At my house, my address is... You can find me on youtube.com/Bill Black is here. It's just Bill Black. You can find me on Oh No, He's Here. You can find me on William Schwartz. I have just a bunch of channels and I don't really use any of them. But if you like old content, old reused content like what we're watching today, old reused content, then if that's not incentive to watch, I don't know what is. Yeah, I've got a PO box. That's my parents, and you can send me just bombs. I've got a social security number. My social security number is 0.
Whoa, I'm wearing a different outfit and you didn't notice, and you're gonna be nice about it. You're gonna be nice, or I come for you. I'm guessing you're probably wondering why this video exists, honestly. And in part, it's what I want to sort of do right now with this channel, which is experiment with different formats and see how people like them. But also, in part, it's... well, it's hard to kind of summon forth the thoughts, but it's kind of keeping track of myself, keeping track of what I'm doing, where I'm going. It's a kind of accountability. It's a self-accountability, and it's accountability to you. I didn't really totally explain what I was doing when I got back into this. made it sort of intentionally vague, because the most important thing for me right now is to work on it, to find out what you guys want, to make the choices that are best for both of us. So I have some videos coming up down the pipeline. A video that I filmed last year is still in the editing process, and I've started writing some videos, and it's gonna be a feeling out process. But that's kind of what it's always been. And hopefully, I'll be able to find what makes me happy here. Fucking Discord!
Wasn't that funny? Next time on Mr. Nim, you know that Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney was based on gay manga.
Objection!
Shut up, Phoenix. But did you know it is also a criticism of the justice system in Japan and the United States? Wow! Join Mr. Nim next time for... what the fuck did I call it? Ace Attorney, an objection to injustice. The first of a 3-part miniseries about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney and its subsequent games. Thank you to the patrons for making these videos possible. It's only because of you that I am not destitute. I will see you in the next video. Saya!